All right, and real quick, guys, before we get to the buffs and the buff, I just want to make sure you guys are cleared that to save these buffs, you need to have what's called a supercharged Chronoboon Displacer, or the inactive ones, just Chronoboon Displacer is what you need. So to get these, you need to come here to the Western Plaguelands in the, let me just close that out real quick here, in the Eastern Kingdoms on the Western Plaguelands, and here in the, let me turn that off, the Ruins of Andorhal. Just on the left side here, the first house on the left, coming on the left side. Upstairs in the inn is going to be little old Chromie here. I believe she's going to have a quest line that you're going to have to complete to unlock her, to speak to her for her chat with the anything to help me with Timekeeper. You open that up, and right there, Chronoboon Displacer, 1 gold, or this my pocket watch. Chronoboon Displacer, essentially what it does is it's pretty much just your own little personal pouch for world buffs. Whenever you get a world buff active, you hit that, you use it, and it will then freeze and save whatever that buff is. So as of right now, for example, I go up there, I currently have the Oni buff exactly at 120 minutes. So as soon as I got that, I put on the Chronoboon Displacer and froze that buff. And then later on, when I get another buff, I can unboon to then release my boon back to myself, and then reboon to capture them both again. Just beware, on those Chronoboon Displacers, there is a 1 hour cooldown. So before you go out and get another boon, you need to make sure you waited 1 hour. What's up, guys? It's just a quick tutorial walkthrough of how to get the Rallying Cry of the Dragonslayer, also known as the Oni or Nefarian buff. For you, those of you who are really trying to get into world buffs, I highly, highly recommend you download this right here, Nova World Buffs. I repeat, Nova World Buffs. This helps you greatly with managing your world buffs, and also, especially for this one, the Dragonslayer or Oni and Nefarian buff. So how to get this one, the simplest way is just go to Stormwind, click on Nova World Buffs, or you can hover over it to be precise, and you can see here layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, however many layers you have in your server, and it shows you the current timer on that Onyxia timer. As of right now, Nefarian has no timer, so anybody can just drop a Nefarian head and bam, the buff goes out. However, for Onyxia, they are on a timer. So with these, for example, layer 2 has 7 minutes and 32 seconds. So once the timer's up, someone just needs to turn in the Oni head, and bam, and it'll get sent out to all layers. Does not matter what layer you are on, just matters on what layer you want to hand in the head. Now, specifically for the head, you'll be talking here Grand Admiral Jess Tereth in the Stormwind keep up here in Stormwind. That's how to turn in the head. And like I said, super simple, super easy, easiest buff in the game. Takes literally less than 5 minutes depending on if you time it right. And specifically for the Dragonslayer buff, that gives you increased critical chance of spells by 10%, melee and ranged by 5%, and it grants 140 attack power for 120 minutes. Alright, what's up, guys? This buff is the Songflower Serenade buff. Songflower Serenade increases chance for melee, ranged, or spell critical by 5%, and all attributes by 15 for 1 hour. How to get the Songflower Serenade? The easiest way is to, as I said earlier, get that Nova World buffs. Show you on the on the add-on. When you come to Fellwood in Kalimdor, so Kalimdor, you go to Fellwood, you're gonna see these little like sunflower sunspots, and they're all gonna have timers with layers on them. All you gotta do, the easiest way, is literally just fly here or right here. Check what layer you're on. I'm on layer 1. Find the closest flower that's on layer 1 with the timer about to expire. For example, I'm at 1 now with 1:43, and when the time comes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, but that's how you obtain the boon. As for how else to get it, if you, for some reason, none of those timers are there, or it's on a low day or whatever, you got to go down here to the south side of Fellwood, talk to this Athandris Silver Sky. You're going to start a quest chain to get yourself a Cenarian Beacon, which looks like that. Cenarian Beacon, that will allow you to cleanse plants. Then you do those repeatable quests, as you see right there, the salve via disenchanting, hunting, or gathering, which will then give you 2 salve, and you use those 2 salve on these Songflowers if they are infected. As I said, most of the time, you're going to see all these timers up, so just layer swap or get there on your layer just in time. And or if not, get that Cenarian Beacon on yourself, get you some salve, go to one of these flowers, and go ahead and purify it yourself. Now, as of right now, what I'm about to get right now, as again, easiest way, come to the flower here. You can see it's this flower between us three. You're gonna see a lot of players with you. Everyone can get it all at once. You can share this buff. This is not a one flower, one person. This is as long as everyone gets it right on time, then everyone gets it. So the key here is you're gonna stand close, pretty much as close as you can without blocking anybody else and being a dick. As soon as that timer hits the last 10 seconds, you can see it up here in my mini map. In the last 10 seconds, I'm gonna spam click this flower. So you're gonna continuously spam click until you see your character interact with the flower. So 3, 2, 1, and now I'm spam clicking. We're just gonna keep on sitting here spam clicking. Sometimes it's on the dot, sometimes it's a few seconds behind. The latest I've ever seen was like 10 seconds. So you see, oh, there you go, boom. Now we're interacting, now we're opening, and bam, there I have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and unboon myself. So here we go. I'm now unbooning because I have Dragonslayer on right now. So I'm unbooting, and now bam, I'm gonna go ahead and put on a new Chronoboon Displacer to have both my Oni Boon and my Songflower Serenade. And there you go, have it. Now it's nice and stored. 120 and 60 for the Songflower Serenade. And as you can see here, I now have a 1 hour timer on the Songflower Serenade. So that's how you get the buff, easiest way. Second easiest buff in the game currently, minus before Zul'Gurub. Zul'Gurub comes out tomorrow. So yeah, just Oni buff, and there's Songflower Serenade. Thank you very much. Alright, what's up guys? This is going to be the Dire Maul tribute run. Just to give you a quick little intro of how to actually get here, and before you actually move on to getting the boons themselves and getting the buffs. So you come here to Kalimdor, you go to the Feralas, you either land here and go west, or you land here and go east. Once you get to the Dire Maul actual on-ramp here, I will show you the route to the Dire Maul Tribute Dungeon, or specifically the Dire Maul North is what it is actually called. Go ahead and run these mobs. And here is the actual Dire Maul area. So on the right is going to be east, on the left is going to be west, and then on the north side is where we are going for the tribute run. So just fish on through here. Alright, and here we are at north. So either door doesn't matter. I think this north side there's only one door, is there? No, there's two doors. But this one you can't access. But this one you can. So you go ahead and use your crescent key. If you don't have a key, you just wait here for a party member or someone else nice enough to come open it for you, so on and so forth. And this is where, as you can see in general chat right now, the selling DMT buffs, the selling all these buffs and stuff, you whisper one of those guys, pay them up, and they'll invite you, get in, pay up, and I'll show you on further. This guy charged me 5 gold, so I just paid him 5 gold off screen. And so now what I'm going to do is show you the Dire Maul Tribute run. So as you can see here, everyone's kind of red, everyone's got red names, but they are not aggroing me. The easiest way to tell is if you hover your mouse over the characters, or I guess them, this one's a hand, no aggro. But a sword, the ones that are marked here, those will aggro. You want to avoid them at all costs. So just repeat my route. This is essentially what we're doing for the Dire Maul Tribute run. And while we're running here, I will explain, make sure, there we go. And so just that first pack you guys saw is usually the ones that are aggro. Sometimes the eyeballs are, sometimes they're not, just depends on the person. Now the big one is these bosses. Right here, Captain Chromush, he's a boss, he will aggro, we gotta avoid him. There's another one that patrols around here, I think his name is Fangus. He patrols around this area as well, and he will aggro as well, so we wanna avoid him. There he is right there, yep, so we need to avoid him. So I'm going to have to sit here and wait until he passes. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to cut forward here because Fangus was not moving, which is a rarity. He usually will move, he'll patrol around, but he's not moving right now, so I had to go around him. And I'm going to keep on going down the ramp here. So like I said, you just follow my lead. You can either go right through him, obviously if he wasn't there, or if you go around like I just did. But you just keep going down this ramp. And essentially, all Dire Maul Tribute Run is imagine doing an entire dungeon run with a group and not killing any of the bosses. Oh, there's an eyeball. This eyeball is safe. There's no sword with him. Awesome. So imagine doing like a whole dungeon and not killing any of the bosses. And essentially, when you get to the end, you kill the end boss, and they crown you king. and then you go backwards and talk to those bosses that you avoided killing to get their buffs. So those first two bosses you just saw were active. We don't want to aggro them. Slipkick here is frozen, so you literally can't aggro him. So we're gonna keep on going around here. And as I said, if you're wanting to know how to do the damage tribute run like on your own, I believe only hunters can, maybe a warlock as a solo. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you're gonna, if you're not a hunter or somehow do a warlock solo, you're gonna have to do it like as a group, I'm assuming, and they would do like a specific, you get a group together, it's like, hey, we don't want to kill any bosses, just to the end to get a Dire Maul tribute run. So, as I said, you're just gonna follow this trail all the way up. Apologies for the long video, I will probably speed it up. And once you get to the end of the dungeon, they killed the boss, so now this little Mizzle guy, Mizzle the Trap Crafty, will show up, so we're gonna go ahead and talk to him. I'm the new king, looks good. That little beacon will go off, and you should see right here, King of the Gordok, you were the king of the Gordok Ogres, it's good to be king. And now every unit in the entire dungeon should now be friendly and green names. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward here to each boss to show you and explain each buff. Alright, so for the first buff that we're going to get, this is required for all casters. 100% required. We're going to talk to Slipkick, get his boon. I want to keep on going. So his boon is Slipkick Savvy. Chance for critical hit with a spell increased by 3%. So for guard Slipkick, and specifically that boon specific, that is required for all casters, hands down. Melee and I believe hunters might be okay not to get it. And I know hunters are more of a physical damage when it comes to their attacks. I'm not 100% sure if they need spells increase, but moving on to the next boss. Alright, and we're back over here. So as you can see, Guard Fangus moved from where he was earlier. I'm going to go ahead and talk to him, even though I'm actually not really going to get anything from him. Hopefully those scorpions and shit don't aggro my ass. Let's go ahead and talk to him real quick. There we go. So this one, even though I'm a warlock, I don't need it. This is Fangus Ferocity. Attack power increased by 200. This boon is 100% required for all melee users. Any kind of attack power melee, you're going to want Fangus Ferocity for sure. And moving on to the third boss here, we're moving down here. Alright, and the third boss is Guard Moldar. Guard Moldar. He's at the very beginning here, but we usually pass him. So we're going to go ahead and talk to him. He's going to give us our boon. He's got Moldar's Moxie, which is overall stamina increased by 15%. So we're going to go ahead, and as before, we're going to go ahead and unboon my stashed Rallying Cry of the Dragonslayer and the Songflower Serenade. So now all my boons will be active. I'm going to go ahead and reboon those because I waited that hour. And there you have it. So that is going to be it, guys. Alright, what's up, guys? This is just a quick voiceover from the raid just last night when we did Zilgarub. So we're heading over to the island, the Ujambe Island, where you can actually turn in the buff, or turn in the heart. Well, as you can see, I just got a notification, Zandalar in 30 seconds, so we're getting the ZG buff. Top left, that's where the island is. That's where we're all going to turn in the actual buff. But down below, you can see in the bottom of the map is Booty Bay. You can Google it. Booty Bay is also a place that you can receive the buff. So you're going to see here, literally, as we touch the island, the buff's going to go out.
You know, it's actually funny. The necklace you get for Warlock, for getting friendly, is almost as good as Star Wars.
And bam, there you go. That's how you get the buff, guys. And as I said, definitely with the World Buffs add-on makes it a lot easier. Kind of notifies you in beforehand. However, just sitting in Booty Bay or at this island, if Alliance is controlling it. What's up, guys? This is going to be the Dark Moon Faire, specifically the Sage's Dark Fortune of Damage buff, which is plus 10% damage, and you have to go and speak with the Sage at the Dark Moon Faire. Now, this Dark Moon Faire only spawns on the first full week of every month, and it rotates between Elwyn Forest, right outside of Stormwind, right on the border of Goldshire, which is obviously very heavy Alliance territory, And alternatively, the other rotation is over here in Kalimdor. You're going to go to Mulgore with a Torrent spawn. And right where this little ends, right here next to Thunder Bluff, you'll see on your map, if you have the certain world buffs, etc., will also be the Dark Moon Faire spawn. And that one, as an Alliance player, it's going to be really hard. And obviously, for this one, if you're a Horde player, is also going to be very difficult. So let's go ahead and go in. And world buffs, I believe the world buffs add-on does have a has a fast option. I'm gonna go ahead and do it one step at a time. So we're gonna talk to Sage here, ready to figure out our fortune. So the first one is Slay the Man, number 1. Next one is you're going to turn him over to the Liege, which I believe is this one, and do it in such a manner that he suffers painfully before he dies. Yep. So number 1 again, and there you go, guys. Boom. Right there you can see, let me unboon real quick. There you can see Sage's Dark Fortune of Damage. So the first option on both chats is just number 1 and number 1. So let's go ahead and reboon that, because I have the Spirit of Zandalar on there. And bam, there you go, guys. I now have Sage's Dark Fortune and the Spirit of Zandalar. And that is going to be it for Dark Moon Faire. Alright, and those for you who are wondering about the Ren buff or the Warchief's Blessing buff, unfortunately, since I'm Alliance, there's only one way to obtain it, and also, I'm also not a melee user, so therefore I don't even need the buff. But for those of you who are wondering how to get the Ren Warchief's Blessing buff, as an Alliance player, you have to come to Durotar, you have to go to Orgrimmar, be in the city, and have an alt or I guess a friend, but an alt that is on the Horde side and is a priest. And some way, you either just trade favors or they have a lot of services out there, I think right now, where you will pay them on your Horde account or your Horde character, to pay them, and then you'll relog on your Alliance player, go into the city, and they'll mind control you just in time to catch their Warchief's Blessing buff. Warchief's Blessing is pretty much the same thing as like Oni, but with Warchief Rend for the Horde side. So really, when it comes down to this, most guilds shouldn't require this of you, but if so, yeah, you have to work with the opposite faction and pay them with an alt tune, and then time it right with a Horde priest. So that is it for Rend. Thank you very much, guys. That is all the world buffs. I hope you guys really appreciate just kind of wrapping it all together. Of course, I didn't fine tooth comb every single little detail or how to get, where to get, who to get. I did the most simple ways that pretty much, if you have no experience with it, it should be pretty easy for you to figure out along the way based on my instructions. So thanks again, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.